intelligence, coding for humanity's future, yeah. What does that mean, coding for humanity's future? Well, I kind of like being human, frankly. Although, I do want to merge with AI, I want to get smarter, and I do want to be more athletic because I love sports, and I do want to grow a little bit younger, not too much, but I'm reaching 70 in a couple of years, so I'm starting to think about my future. And I want to be around for a long time. 25 years ago, I became interested in the singularity, the technological singularity. I thought, wow, what a way cool idea. I was an artist back then, or just leaving the art world, going into technology and design. I thought, I've already done enough performance art, done some films, done some videos, had my own TV show. What do I really want to do? I want to give back something. Because as an artist, I felt, I didn't feel like I was really living up to my full potential. My brothers are medical doctors. My father was an art director during the Mad Men days of the art world in New York City. And I felt I was living below my potential. So I wanted to challenge myself. 25 years ago, I went to meet Professor Vernor Vinge, who coined the term technological singularity because the term singularity is an astrophysics term. Vernor Vinge said to me in our meeting, "Oh, you like dogs?" I said, "Yes, I love dogs. I have 2 dogs, 2 golden doodles who I love passionately. They're my children." Vernor Vinge loves dogs. He understands the wolf mind, the network of the mind, kind of the comb of the mind of dogs and wolves. He also understood exponential change and risk. He also understood that if superintelligence happened, as the first panel discussed, that it could happen as hitting a wall. Well, maybe, maybe not. Then Ray Kurzweil came along and wrote The Singularity is Near, and fortunately I'm featured in his book for my whole body design. But Raymond Kurzweil thinks it's going to be one big liftoff, and we're going to be part of creating it. Alternatively, others think that there's going to be a number of surges, up and down, just like the stock market, perhaps. And we will be creating the singularity. We will be creating the AI, the supercomputers, that will perform many of the complex tasks that we don't have the cognitive capabilities to perform. Well, where does that leave us? Well, I said to Professor Vinge, well, will we get more creative? Okay, yeah. Intelligence is one thing, have a higher IQ. As Eliezer Yudkowsky puts intelligence IQ above all else. I don't agree. Creativity, imagination, innovation, invention, that's creativity. And it's part of the human natural instinct. It's part of what makes us human. And that type of creativity is what we love and love to share with each other as part of our ability to communicate. So with Professor Vinge, I said, well, could we become more creative? And he said, yeah. And we came up with a term called the creativity augmentum. And I wrote about it in the 1990s, and I'd forgotten about it until you mentioned in your music the idea of the history about creativity and arts. And I totally put my art self aside. I was looking at the program going, I'm not an artist, it says I'm an artist. That part of me is far gone, but thank you, because it was a wonderful memory. At first I was like, what? I'm a scientist, what? But no, I'm very proud to have that background, because it's that creativity augmentum, where the shift will happen in our creativity. We'll let go of our clinging to the past, or holding on to the past, the trends of the past, the culturalization of the past, the who we're supposed to be of the past. You're 20, you're supposed to do this. You're 30, you're supposed to do that. You're 40, this. 60, senior citizen, gray hair. Okay, I let my hair grow gray. I just started doing this. I'm not afraid anymore to be a senior citizen and get in the movie tickets as a senior citizen. It's kind of fun. but I don't like the look of it. So with the Creativity Augmentum, my vision is that we will form the regenerative generation of people of any age who want to keep on regenerating themselves, continually learning, continually re-educating themselves, continually thinking about what's going to happen with responsibility, with a sense of ownership of oneself, with a sense of coding one's own creativity, intelligence, capabilities. Okay, so let's take human longevity means revision of human model, this biological system we have, as science and technology mitigate aging and disease. Well, Professor Cordero talked about this, and so did Professor Wood and Brad Templeton. You brought this session together with your brilliant introduction. So let's think for ourselves, what do we want? If we could be part of that Creativity Augmentum, how would we model the new human? The biology of human existence is being revised and the new model is being developed. You can design your own sense of who you want to become. It is never too late. Humans are evolving at the rate of technology. Yeah, we've already talked about genetic engineering, stem cell cloning, designer babies, designing ourselves, mitigating the disease of aging, taking a look at intelligence, major shifts in the future, gathering information, putting it together and sorting it out so that we can be creative. And that's what you are doing. Putting the futurist knowledge together, the data gathered, so that the human can be creative. Why are we wasting our times at the typewriter? Or trying to figure things out when our true nature is to invent, problem solve, create, develop. This is a part of what I had done in the 1990s when I designed the nascent or first future body design. I wanted it to be more durable, longer lasting, diverse across platforms, uploading into cyberspace, cross-loading into games and virtual reality, downloading back into the human body. There is no one platform or substrate that humans ought to be in, or can be in, or will want to be in. We're fluid. So, what is the most important part of this? And it was alluded to earlier, our brain, our intelligence, our mind, our identity, and the continuation of identity over periods of time, continuing, continuity, continuation over time. Think about that as a melody. If you could continue who you are over time, over systems, over substrates, and keep on learning and growing, would you want to live longer? Would you want to live to 123, 150, 200? If you could be vital, if you had a functional body, one that was more durable, more flexible, longer lasting, that you could enhance? Many people would say yes. But if you had to live longer, like my mother did, who just passed away, I guess it was a month ago now. She was in her 100th year. She lived to 99. It was 2 months into 100. She had dementia. It grew very rapidly, her last months of life. And I was her caretaker. It is a horrific thing to go through, and all of us, at least most of us, will go through it on some level or another with the loved ones, people we know, people we care about. It's our responsibility, our honor, and our pleasure to take care of our parents and our loved ones. However, I would have preferred my mother grow older and pass on with that beautiful intelligence she had, that can-do spirit. She would say to me, Natasha, you are the captain of your ship and the master of your fate, and don't you forget it. What wonderful words to say to your daughter, who's in a world of men, growing up in the period that I grew up, feeling insecure and like I had to be an artist and play the dumb, pretty girl, rather than being the scientist and the doctor that I am today. My mother supported me forever, always telling me, you can do it, don't be afraid, keep on going. When I told my mother I was interested in radical life extension and living a long time, and I signed up for cryonics, which is the vitrification of the human body. If you die, you go into cryonics and you're suspended in cryonics or cryopreservation, rather than dying and being burned or put into the ground or other alternatives. When I told my mother this, she said, what a great idea. She said, it's not for me. She was an Episcopalian Christian, so I respected her views, she respected mine. But she said, good, do what you want to do. This is great. You're a pioneer. These ideas are wonderful. Of course, it wasn't my idea, but the fact that I wanted to do it, researched it, and followed the ideas of it made my mother proud that I was being unique and an individual. Building momentum toward life extension is about taking ownership of who you are, being responsible for your personal identity and the continuation of it over time, and also being responsible, as Jose Carrero talked about, your genes, knowing where you come from, where you could be going, and think about what you want to become. At any age, it doesn't matter. Artificial intelligence is essential for this. We don't have the cognitive abilities to get all the data about ourselves to be able to determine how we want to spend our lives. Craig Venter, brilliant mind, scientist, he now is deeply involved with artificial intelligence because he wants to figure out what's in the genomics, where it's going, to be able to offer a service to people so they could see what's going on in the underlying aspects of their genes. Once you get to your genes and you understand it's the proteins, proteinomics, then you get there and you understand it's deeper and deeper. Getting this information, understanding the cellular structure of our bodies is essential. You don't have to be experts, but we need the experts to go figure it out, the data, bring it to the doctors and the scientists, and then let us know. We can't do it ourselves. So, artificial intelligence is essential for our future. DNA needs AI to organize its content, and we need that organized content to know what genes we're carrying, what our future could be, and to mitigate it, to intervene with it. I think that my mother would have preferred to mitigate her dementia rather than to live for months, even the past year of her life, with dementia. I think she would rather have known early on that she had the genetic disposition for it and mitigated it in some way, rather than to see her children suffer through it and to see her own suffering. I'm not going to go over that because Jose already did. Okay, so humans and smart engineering. Minus disease and aging equals longevity. Okay, so now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. Life capital. How many of you have some type of retirement or savings account? Probably everyone. A retirement savings account, a checking account. You have some property that you've purchased that you know you have ownership of for your future. This is 101 being an adult. When you get out of university, you go into the workforce, you're asked by your company, do you want your 401k? You go, yeah, and then you'll match it at a certain point, and then you're tenured. What is missing a lot is that people are preparing for their future, for their retirement. So you want to retire at 60 or 70 like me. Where is your savings for your health, for your identity, for your body? Most people are saving for retirement so they can play golf or travel or just take more time off work to be with their family. Life capital is equally, if not far, far, far more important. So what is your investment in your life capital? The number of years you have left to live. So let's do some mathematics. I'm 67, and I think I probably have 20 really good more years. I think so, based on my genetics. My mother lived long with dementia. My father died of cancer. I've already had cancer, but you can get it several times, different types of cancer, so you can't mark that off the list. So, if I have 20 more years of good life where I can ski down the mountains, I can still teach and lecture, travel, do the things I love to do, how am I going to prepare to be healthy for those 20 years? By having my genes sequenced, which I did, by going to the doctor frequently, well, not too frequently, but to know what's going on with my body, to have MRIs of my brain, and that was my brain that I showed you a little while ago, to have scans of my bodies for bone density, muscle mass, my vitamin intake, do I have enough vitamin C, enough vitamin D? Hormone replacement therapy for women is essential. Hormone replacement therapy for men is essential. You need your androgen, you need your testosterone. Being updated on your body is crucial to you because it is your life capital. So you might ask, what is the biggest asset or the greatest asset that the human has? Okay, so what is a crucial, necessary, essential product or asset of the human? what would it be? The most necessary, crucial, essential aspect or product or element of a human. Is it your brain? Is it your sex organ? It's your life. Protecting your life is crucial. Any moment, anything can happen. I know, I almost died in not childbirth, didn't get that far. Baby died inside of me. I was living in Japan and performing. All of a sudden, I was found dying. A woman saved my life. I survived it, and I never forgot it. At that point, I changed my life. I decided that not knowing what's going on inside my body is dangerous. Not knowing what's going on inside my mind is dangerous. It's crucial for each of you because your life is precious. Every moment of your life is precious. It's a gift, I think. Maybe you don't, but I think just being alive, how wonderful is that? So protect it in any way you can. Artificial intelligence is one way that we can work by developing systems and programs and all sorts of data collecting information for you to have. Artificial general intelligence, which is the development of AI where it would be more super intelligence, maybe smarter than you, maybe have better processing power than you, but would aid you and guide you with information. That is what we need because our emotions get in the way. So the long and short of Life Capital is all about respecting your life, taking the steps to protect your life, and that's the purpose of transhumanism, which is the worldview that supports the idea of the singularity and artificial intelligence and ethical use of technology, scientific development and advancement, and looking at who are we as humans? What are we? What are we supposed to be doing? Where are we going? Why are we building all this artificial intelligence and technology if it's not helping us? So we built it, then we die the next day. So you die at 50, you die at 60. But you've got great products, driverless cars, driverless airplanes, big data collectors. Oh, that's great. Fancy lighting and an industry, virtual reality, major advances in gaming. But what about you? Why isn't humanity, our humanness, our life, more important than the inventions and innovations that we create? People, society need a new mindset, an understanding that we will most likely be living far longer than we are today. How to prepare for it? How can you protect yourself for it? What are the basic fundamental rules that you should know about protecting yourself for the future? Certainly it's financial, probably number one, because money sings. Have to be aware. The second point I want to make in my last minute and a half about is that be careful what you listen to. I call it the Natasha principle, and I learned this firsthand. Before I got my PhD, I would just listen to people talking about technology in the future and go, wow, that's interesting, how fascinating. And then I remember working on my dissertation, and I actually had to do research. I had to check the viability of the information I was writing about. I had to check the authenticity. I had to make sure that my research was accurate, because I was in school in England, and they're pretty tough there. So that was my first slap in the face about reliability of information. My second slap in the face was about science. I would read all the latest science magazines and follow them and go, wow, this is fascinating, and oh, this is great, and we're cloning, and oh, nanomedicine. And then I became a scientist. I did scientific research. And I did have a scientific breakthrough, which I don't want to take your time talking about, but what I want to mention is that what I learned from having stepped into a laboratory and having written a scientific paper, getting it published is not easy. You have to have accurate information, and as a scientist or a science researcher, you have to prove beyond a question of a doubt that you can repeat your experiment, not once, not twice, but many times. To do that, you have to have viable evidence of your research. Let's take that to being human and where we are. We're in a world of AI and lots of terms and knowledge being tossed about, and wow, it's fantastic, and it is. But let's get smart here. Learn about these terms. Learn about who is authentic, who's telling you reliable information, and who's not. Make sure that you know what's being said. Don't be pulled aside by your emotions or politicizing. You be the first-hand person of your own research and knowledge gathering. It's your time to sing and shine, and that's what I think is the new human mindset. The differences to modernize the rights of living longer and taking our humanness with us, the responsibility of knowing who is programming the AI, for goodness sakes. If there's going to be strong AI, who on earth is programming it? What is the responsibility there? And each one of you should have a stake in this because it does make a difference to you. And I think that the human capability for empathy and compassion far exceeds any other quality that we have besides our precious gift of life. Thank you.